Nothing makes my morning than a good cup of espresso and also a healthy serving of grown men asking for my wrist size or complaining about him. You see, to them, it either looks too feminine or it kind of got left behind by a couple of decades in the development stage. So, the best way to get back at these men is to further annoy them with more feminine wrist shots and even smaller G-Shocks to put it on them. But we're not only going to annoy them today. In this episode, we're also going to make them feel guilty about it. This video is brought to you by our wives. They also deserve the blame. At least half of it. Baby G are what you think they are, smaller G-Shocks. Mainly marketed for smaller wrists, grown men like me should not be afraid to wear them at all because they also offer a number of designs to choose from and a lot of features to enjoy. The hesitation that many men at wearing these is not about the size, surprisingly. It's the word baby on the bezel. Okay, it's not that bad to be called baby, especially when it's your wife calling you that name and it's accompanied by a good bottle of beer. But we all know that the word baby is often followed by please unclog the drain. Now, enough about plumbing and let's toss this on the wrist. Another note, please pay attention to all of the infographics. I always list my wrist size at 6.25 inches. Notice also that the length of the strap is just right with no extra material flying off the ring keeper. Even on a different model, the strap and case construction comfortably hugs my wrists. This thickness is still pretty chunky at 15mm, so don't get any ideas of wearing this under a tux. G-Shock maintains its design language by offering both digital and analog models. This BGA 275 is a combination of both, with some hints of traditional dial indexes and subdials. Don't forget that these watches are also produced on a number of striking colors and variants. These two models effectively shows the polar difference between designs. On the left is a purely digital display, while on the right is an analog model with its hour and minute hands. Both are built tough and can take a beating. But not only are these G-Shocks in form factor, they also pack all of the features that G-Shock is known for, such as light functions. While Seikos come with their legendary luminescent paint, G-Shock nowadays almost always comes with a built-in light. This analog model has a simpler light configuration. On the other hand, this one packs a dual illuminator. Not only is this lighting up the LCD display, but part of the dial also glows amazing in the dark. Contrary to popular belief, these quartz watches from G-Shock also features a lot of soulful touches that makes watch geeks like us very happy. This matte textured resin is not completely matte. The texts are gloss finish to add a subtle tasteful contrast. At the end of the strap is a nice metal buckle to give it more visual interest. The rest is a pretty standard G-Shock affair with the materials that will withstand the toughest of abuse. A common G-Shock complaint is the negative display suffering in legibility. I really don't mind that too much as it's part of its aesthetics and you can light it up anyway. Also keep in mind that these modules use a nifty audible pitch to let you know you've cycled through all of its modes. Let's hear it in action. There! That last high-pitched beep means you're back in home time. Fiddling with all of these haptic buttons always makes us grown hairy men feel like an 8-year-old boy with its overpriced fidget toy. All of that is true for me personally, except for the hairy part. But before I get lost in playing around with this thing and drain its battery needlessly, let's hop back to the analog model. Although it looks very different from the BGD 140, this BGA 275 is also nice to play around with. This has a bit more of a visual diversity, especially more visible because of its lighter color. The buckle matches the case, made out of hard plastic, along with the rest of the parts being constructed with very durable materials. These case backs are also rather easy to open, making battery changing very easy. The module of this 275 series may look different from the 140, but it also uses the same cycle through modes and beeps. It's just displayed differently between these two digital subdials. Most G-Shocks will cycle through the home time, world time, alarm, stopwatch, timer, and back to home time. I love that once you're accustomed to how G-Shock designs their watches, it's almost second nature to pick any model up and use all of its modes right away. You just know you're handling and working with a G-Shock. All of these intuitive features endears this brand to people of all shapes, sizes, and ages. And this brings us to the key point. If there was ever a watch brand that reached more people, it's G-Shock. The Apple Watch did sell millions of units worldwide, but I will never recommend giving it to a grade schooler. So, little JJ will get this black watch that doesn't need to be charged daily, and little Day Day can have fun tumbling around with his enjoyable flashy off-white G-Shock. And that's one of G-Shock's greatest features. The kids can have the time of their lives with these G-Shocks strapped on their wrists, no matter how small those wrists may be. As a watch pirate of the Caribbean, it is my duty and responsibility to teach the next generation on how to read the time on their watches and how to properly enjoy these timepieces the way they're supposed to be enjoyed. Like wearing them. So JJ and Day Day, now that you are big boys now and getting your big boy watches, it's time also to learn how to wash the dishes, mow the lawn, and change the oil of your SUV. And now that we've influenced the next generation with another source of financial ruin, it's time for me to go to bed and be prepared for the inevitable wrist size questions by grown men, and also how they all will squeal tomorrow as Speedy Tuesday comes and Omega drops that inevitable moon swatch that is, kind of a big deal, it seems. Sleep tight, boys.